Somebody told me that if you have all the main machines to print t-shirts, if you have all of them, there's no need for transfers. I'm here to tell you that's not true. Transfers are critical in the game regardless of what machine you have. In the apparel decoration business, there's a ton of different ways to print t-shirts. Some of the most common being heat transfer vinyl, sublimation, DTF, DTG, and white toner. As well as print and cut machines that print on the vinyl and cut it. Oh, and screen printing. Can't forget screen printing. Having any of those machines pretty much lets you take all the raw materials, the ink, the vinyl, the t-shirts, and create everything yourself. It takes a bit more time, but you do have a higher profit margin versus using transfers that are ready to press, take a little bit less time, and have a little bit of a lesser profit margin. Now, having the lesser profit margin isn't necessarily that bad. Think of it this way. The only thing you really have to do when using transfers is sometimes adjust a little bit of the artwork, submit it to print, and receive them, and then press. That's pretty much it. The time that you're going to be working on things is cut down considerably. That being said, transfers aren't always the best option. If you have an order for one color t-shirt, what are you going to do? More than likely, you're going to end up going with vinyl. It's a lot quicker to just load up the vinyl on the cutter, cut it, weed it, and press it. Or if it's a white shirt and you're using polyester shirts, you can quickly just print out the design and press it. Now that's all fine and dandy until you start getting into the real big numbers. When you start getting 20, 30, 40 plus shirt orders, that's going to get very time consuming. Cutting vinyl and weeding is going to take a while depending on the design. If you have a multiple color design, it's going to take even longer to cut and weed all that vinyl. Now sublimation is an option, but the likelihood of all the shirts being polyester and white is kind of low compared to the average order where people just want a bunch of black or white cotton shirts. But yes, sublimation could be an option depending on the order itself. Now let's say DTG, you're going to spend a lot of time pre-treating shirts, hanging them to dry, pre-pressing to make sure all the moisture's out, printing, and then pressing again. It's a process and it's going to take some time. Now when it comes to DTF, you have to go through the process of actually printing all the transfers. If you have a shaker, then you're lucky, everything's pretty much done automatically. But if you don't, you're going to be manually curing a bunch of DTF powder. But what about a white toner printer? White toner printers are great, but you have to marry the A and B sheets, and that can also take some time. Print and cut machines, print your design on the vinyl and cut it out. Yeah, but you still have to cut and weed all the designs. See where I'm getting to with this? These, all you have to do is receive them, lay them down, and press them. That's it. I'm not trying to deter anyone from using their sublimation printer, their vinyl cutter, their white toner printer, whatever they have. I just really want to make sure that all of you have an understanding of how helpful transfers can be. Because coming from a very closed mindset of transfers are just a waste of money, after really sitting down and doing some of the math, it's actually almost the same. You know, give or take a few bucks. But realistically speaking, with the amount of time that you're actually going to be working pressing versus preparing and pressing, you can still make a decent profit and still have time to do other jobs. What you have to do is just figure out what works best for you and at what point you want to stop using vinyl and then substitute in for the transfers. Some people after 10 designs, they say, forget this, I don't want to weed, I don't want to cut any more vinyl, I'm done with it. It's really all dependent on the design that you have, how many colors it has, how complex it is. There's just a lot of factors that you have to figure out for yourself to see if transfers would work best for you. But don't always be so quick to disregard them. Do the math, think about how long it's going to take you to press them, how much of a profit you're going to be making, and about how much you're going to be making per hour. After I did that, I was pleasantly surprised. And if you want to see how I calculate my prices and profits for transfers, I have a video where I break all of that down and I show how I price my shirts done with transfers. If you like informative videos in the apparel decoration business, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button, so that way you don't miss out on any future content. Now, another good instance to be able to use transfers is, let's say you have a brand and you have a really good selling design. Up until this point, you've been doing this design on either sublimation, vinyl, or white toner. Since you know it's a hot design and you know it's going to keep selling and it's been selling, then you can order X amount of transfers. So that way you can make the production process a lot quicker. The moment you get an order, just pop that transfer on, press it, and you're done. I was really skeptical on using transfers, trust me. Ever since I started, I was super skeptical on it because I didn't want to miss out on the money. But then little by little, as I started to gain experience, I realized by looking at certain designs, I could tell how long it's going to take to do using vinyl, how long it's going to take to cut and weed. And let's assume that you want to make, let's say, 50 bucks an hour. If you charge them by the hour for something like vinyl, all that prep work is going to really add up and the customer's probably not going to like that. Versus transfers, if you do the same thing charging by the hour, it's going to be a lot better for the customer and you're still going to get your hourly rate that you're looking for. Again, there's a bunch of different factors that factor into when to use transfers in my case. Transfers aren't for everybody. Some people prefer to do the extra work and make a little bit of extra money. You know what? That's totally okay. I 100% respect that. I did that from the beginning. And even to this day, I'll choose to do a certain order using either DTG or vinyl just to make a couple extra bucks. And then I catch myself a couple days later thinking, I should have just done this on transfers. I would have been done by now. I am curious to know though, if you like transfers, Do you like to use transfers? Do you prefer to just do everything by yourself and make those extra couple bucks? Or do you prefer to just not have any prep work and press the shirts? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys next time. Peace.